So you guys, I had so much fun taking you around my house for my fall decor that I thought this would be a great way to really kind of show you the details of my Halloween decor. I'm going to just show you a very brief overview of everything. And I know a lot of you guys are interested in seeing these overviews, and I do apologize. Some of my older videos don't have them just because I was learning and I was new to YouTube. And so that is something that I have learned to put in. Thank you guys for commenting those helpful feedback comments. They have been really, really helpful to my channel. So thank you so much. So we're going to start over here by my front entry. I do have my coffee bar set up. I think this is probably my favorite coffee bar I've ever done. Even though it is a Halloween specific one, I love the colors. I love the warm tones and the metallics. I just love the way it turned out. So you can see the top shelf just has some amber glass jars, some wood items, some orange pieces to kind of bring in that orangey Halloween sort of fall coloring, and I think it's perfectly simple. I love it. On the second shelf, we've got some more copper, we got some copper metallics in that canister set, which is, by the way, thrifted. I get a lot of comments on where I got that. That was from last year, I think. And then just over here on the side, we've got a very simple setup. I actually used this pumpkin on my fall tablescape, and I loved the way the color of the pumpkin complemented the color of the napkin so well, the hand towel rather, and I thought that was really cute, along with this little skeleton who I always say I think he just looks like he's just bored out of his mind, and I think that's really funny. One of the things that I try not to do is take my decorating too seriously. I like to have fun with it, so seeing little funny moments like this really make me smile when I come downstairs to make my coffee in the morning. Now, moving down, I'm working with this candle that I absolutely love, and you guys, it is down to the bottom. I need another one. It smells so good, so fantastic. That was a Hobby Lobby purchase, and it's called Cozy Cup of Cocoa. I'm gonna end up using that for Christmas. I need a new one though, because it is the perfect color and the perfect scent, and I just love it. Along with some blackberry stems from Hobby Lobby from years past, along with a vase that I thrifted and then just kind of painted. These are also thrifted spoons, but I liked the handles of them. I thought they were kind of spooky and unique, and so I really like the coloring of those. And then just on the other side, I'm keeping it simple with my lamp and a little piece of pottery along with some wood stirring spoons. You'll see as we go through the home tour that I've got like a witchy cottage aesthetic going on in most of the areas, and I thought that the wood spoons and the pottery would be a really perfect complement to that theme. Now, to the right of my hutch, I have this stool. I keep this here all the time, and you'll see as we go around, I do have some things that I've made changes to, and this is one of them. I've added in this Hobby Lobby candlestick holder. I think it's really pretty. I just recently picked it up, but you know, I love finding new low-cost options for displaying candles, and I thought that was a really pretty one. I can't wait to see how that's going to work into my Christmas decor. And then of course those hydrangeas that went viral from Hobby Lobby, I grabbed a bunch of them before they sold out, and I'm so glad I did. Now on the opposite side here, we're going to walk across the kitchen. We've got my front entry here, and I love setting up this little hook shelf. Pick this up at Target, and if you're interested in finding that, if it's still available, I'll link it in my shop tab. On it, I've just got some old world pieces, some pottery and wood and copper, a wicker basket, and just some asparagus fern. I think that has a really interesting texture and kind of like a witchy vibe. And then I placed this stool here just for a little bit more visual interest because I love the hanging pieces there, but then beneath it, it really didn't have anything that was interesting to look at. It was just like this white blank space. So that's a stool that I I picked up at an antique shop near me recently. And I love the way that just brings in a little bit of visual interest and texture. Now, up above the entry setup there, I've got a candle sconce on the wall with a battery-powered candle, which absolutely looks gorgeous at night. As I'm going through some of these areas, I will insert some nighttime clips because that's actually my favorite view, but it's not great for filming. So oftentimes I don't share that with you. And then I've got this Target radio. I love this Target radio. I love the look of it. It looks vintage, but it's Bluetooth capable. So, you know, that's perfect for modern day living in a witch cottage. And then I love this setup too. I kept it very simple here beside the stove as far as, you know, making sure that everything was kind of contained in one small space with this little crow on top of an apothecary jar and just filled with some more of that creepy cloth for texture. Even though it's within the glass, I think it really does kind of bring in that Halloween element. Some candlestick holders that kind of look gothic and old world to me, and I love bringing them out for the Halloween season, and I think they're really, really pretty. They're like a hammered iron. And then the little gold pumpkin is from Target, along with the Walmart viral planter from a few years ago that I have been using in my kitchen a lot lately, and I really like it. And then over on the side here, I've got my tea kettle from Hearth and Hand, because I do believe that a witch's cottage needs to brew tea, because, you know, who doesn't in the fall and winter time? But I love the look of it. I think it's really, really pretty. Along with this Happy Halloween hand towel, which I believe was from Joann Fabrics this year, but I really enjoyed bringing in that pop of black on that neutral background coloring. I thought that was really pretty. And then one of the things I tried to do over here is tie in that neutral coloring with this little mummy statue that I thrifted years ago, a wicker floral arrangement, and a cake stand with some cookies that I did not bake. I haven't brought down my KitchenAid yet. It's still on top of my fridge. Now, another new thing that I have going on here, this actually was inspired by Hurricane Milton, because I was so worried that we were going to lose power that I set up my rechargeable lamp here and had it charging just in the event that we did lose power. And I thought that was really cute setup to have a little bit of corner lighting there. And the brass lamp matches with the brass of my curtain rod. I love these little cafe curtain hooks and rod here. And on it right now, I've just got some hand towels that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And I think they're a perfect way to sort of blend fall and Halloween, because they do look really cozy, and I love the coloring, but they've got that yellow and rust, and they just have that kind of old world look to them, I think. So love having those there. And then of course, beside the sink on this side, I've got a towel holder that is also brass. So I think it really ties in nicely with the lamp. And just kind of flanks the sink with the two different metallics that we've got in the faucet, as well as the two brass pieces on the sides. Now this is a new find as well. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby recently. This is a stoneware butter dish. I love it. I think it's really pretty. It was very inexpensive. So I'll probably be moving that around the kitchen. But for right now, I like the way I've got it set up here to the side of the sink, because it kind of brings together that earthy stoneware look along with the brass, and kind of gives a little bit of contrast to each other. Now over on the other side of the sink, I love this setup. I did not light this candle just because I don't want it to drip so much, but I love this setup because it kind of reminds me of the Addams Family house. If you watch my kitchen decorating video, which I will link below, I had mentioned that one of the things I always loved about the Addams Family show was that, you know, they were so proud of their decor and they loved it so much, but then when people came in from the outside, they kind of were appalled by it. And that's kind of what I tried to do here with this arrangement. It reminded me of when Morticia is out there getting her roses from the garden, and then she cuts the blooms off and brings in this thorny stems. So I thought that was a kind of fun play on bringing in some kind of textural elements that are not necessarily pretty, but definitely fit the Halloween vibe. And then here above, I've got this hook, magnetic hook that, magnetic hook rod that I set up here on the side just to bring in some more texture so that I can hang items here beside the stove and just make this side of the kitchen a little bit more interesting. Now, as we move across to the island, I love this. I think this is simple, it's elegant, and it kind of does have that old world feel. This is a candelabra that I purchased at a consignment shop, and I just loved bringing in those sort of elegant curvy lines and that dark deep wood. And then just beside that is another crow and wire pumpkin and some creepy cloth. And this is just a tray that I picked up recently at Home Goods because I like the scallop edge. But for right now, I'm just keeping that part hidden, and I'll probably end up using that for Christmas time. So that's the overview of the kitchen. I have loved this Halloween setup so much. I'm probably gonna feel sad when it's time to bring it down. Who am I kidding? No, I'm not. I'm already thinking about Christmas. But I'm probably gonna be sad to see it go, and I'll be kind of thinking about ways I can set up a cute similar witch cottage for next year. Now beside this section here is where I have my dining table, and I kept it very simple here on the dining table because in a moment you'll see just to the left of us here is my apothecary, and I have got a lot going on. And so I wanted to keep this simple so that it wouldn't compete and your eye would sort of be drawn to the other areas of the room. So we've got these crow's feet candlestick holders that I absolutely love. They came from Amazon, but they were similar to the ones that I wanted to try to get at Target years ago and was not able to get them. They ran out of stock before I was really convinced that I needed them, so I missed out on them, but I have been loving these from Amazon, along with this Hobby Lobby planter, as well as some twisty, sort of creepy looking twigs from Hobby Lobby, and a pumpkin candle that's got a plastic skeleton hand on it. And then just as a table runner, I kind of threw this creepy cloth on here in a really asymmetrical way, just to kind of bring in a little depth and darkness to the table and kind of draw your eye in to the center of the table. Now over here on the side, this is kind of a fun thing that I found recently while I was thrifting. This is a candle stand. Ended up getting that at Goodwill, I don't know, about a month or so ago, and I knew it would be perfect here because this section of the room does get kind of dark in the evenings, and I thought it would be a fun way to kind of enhance that witchy vibe here at the corner on the side entry. Now, another thing that's new to me are these wall sconces. These I grabbed from Amazon recently, and I've been loving having them here. They really do bring in a fun element here beside the TV and kind of fill up that wall a little bit and bring in a little visual interest. And of course, having that like rust colored candle is perfect for the Halloween season. Now, a lot of you guys have seen this mantle set up because you watched my decorating video last week. If you have not seen that yet, I'll be sure and link that one as well. But this is just a setup of all sorts of twigs and greens and ferns, along with some seed pods and some grapevine wreath pumpkins that I think kind of bring in a lot of creepy elements without being without competing with the elements that I've got going on to the left. I can't wait to share with you that apothecary. I know I keep bringing it up. To the side of the fireplace, we've got a couple of witch brooms and a pair of boots that I had purchased at Goodwill. And I thought they had a little bit of a witchy vibe to them, so I thought that would be really fun here with these little witch brooms beside the door. Now, beside the fireplace here, I've got a really fun setup that I've been enjoying. I kind of had the idea that a witch's cottage would have the her kitchen set up beside the fireplace, and so I brought in this kind of rusty old pot, and I thought it was a nice dupe for a cauldron, along with a basket full of pumpkins, because you know, I think maybe that would be something that a witch or someone back in the Salem witch trial days would have beside their fireplace, beside their hearth, would be items that they cook with. And so I thought that would be a fun kind of play on something that might have been a functional element. Now it's finally time to talk about the apothecary, and I'm just gonna give you an overview really quickly. A lot of you guys watched me decorate this, but I didn't detail everything because there was just so much, and I didn't want to bore you guys with all of the details about what I was adding in and you know what pieces were going and just taking you along through every single item. But I wanted to do that now. That's part of the reason I wanted to do this walking tour, because I think this is really my favorite. I love the way this setup has come together. And so I'm just gonna really quickly kind of detail some of the elements at the top. I've got a owl print from Etsy, and these jars, most of them are thrifted. I do have a few from Hobby Lobby, but most of them are from Goodwill or local shops. And I thought that would be a fun way to kind of bring in this functional apothecary setup where we've got sort of skulls in one of the jars and bones in the others. I don't know, I just like the way it's set up. And then this is a piece that I thrifted recently, and it looks like it's got herbs in it. So these are all items that I think, you know, if I was going to design a movie set for a scene that involved a witch's cottage, that is exactly what I would include. Now moving down beneath, we've got a little witch broom that actually is scented. It smells like cinnamon and I love it. And then down here, there are so many elements going on that I'm just gonna very quickly share them with you. I've got that potted plant from Target, this little journal is actually leather bound and it's got old looking pages. So I thought that was very perfect and fitting for the Apothecary. That was from Amazon. I've got some books that I thrifted that kind of look old. And obviously that middle one is the scariest book in the house. American history is not so bad, guys. Not for me anyway, but the college algebra, yeah. That is the scary one in the house. And then beside that, we've got a magic potion jar coming from the Target dollar spot a few years ago, a black mortar and pestle that I thrifted, an amber jar candle, which brings in a lot of warmth. And of course, you got to have a lot of candles when you're talking about an old world styled apothecary. Another mortar and pestle, just because I think a witch cottage would have a ton of those. That black jar is thrifted and spray painted black. It used to just be glass. And then a couple of Halloween specific items, but most of them are kind of just regular decor pieces that I'm using in my cottage. But that one was, I think, from the Target dollar spot last year, that crow venom. And then this marble pinch pot is from Amazon. The box is actually thrifted, but I thought it had a very, I don't know, old world style. It kind of reminded me of the box, if you guys have seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movie that the Hearth was in. I don't remember the character's name. You can comment below if you remember. But I don't know, it just kind of had that old world feel. And then we've got some more thrifted books. And this one's called The Witchery of Archery. I thought that was kind of fun. It's all about archery. It doesn't have anything kind of Halloween or witchy in it, but I like the look of it. It was old. And then I love bringing in old photos. That was something that I had mentioned in my decorating video was, you know, the old photos really bring in like a historic element, and they bring in some weight and bring a little bit of authenticity to this old world look that I'm trying to create. And so this photo is just of two boys. I don't know the age or the year or anything about them, but I think it's really cool to have that. Behind it, I've got a sand timer as well as a pottery piece that was thrifted. Love this wood candle holder. I think that is exactly something that would be in an old world witch apothecary. This is from Home Goods. This was only $7.99. It's got an LED plug, and then it's got a USB plug, and then it's electric, obviously, so it's plugged in behind the 9-drawer cabinet. But I just love the way it changes color at night. It really brings in a spooky element. Now, beneath this setup, I also have a few items, and these are a little bit more Halloween specific. We've got a book box and a thrifted encyclopedia, a sparkly crow, because you know you can't take your decor too seriously, so you got to have a glam crow somewhere in there, along with a sphere that was also from Home Goods. That one kind of has the image of a moon in it. I thought that was really cool. And then some resin book box stacks, a plastic skull, and just a few more book boxes to round out this bottom shelf. And I love the way this all ties together. And again, it looks so cool at night. I love it. Now we're moving on here to the side. This is one of my favorite things that I've done recently as well. I added this picture from the Threshold line this fall at Target, and I loved the colors in it. It's moody and it has this elegant feel to it, and I love the colors. I think those are pomegranates. I love those colors, and so I wanted to tie in with that. And so I'm down here beneath, I kind of used the pillows and the throw to tie in the colors of the pomegranates above, and I really think this helps complete this look. When you look at things from this side of the room, everything feels sort of full and kind of festive for the season, but it all ties together, right? Like the pumpkins on the one side and then the rust and orange tones on this side. I think it all works really perfectly, and I've really been enjoying this look. Now we're moving on because I want to bring you guys over to this setup, which actually is one of my favorites as well. And I'm kind of surprised that I like it so much. I kept my mirror here and I threw on some creepy cloth, but since I moved my 9-drawer cabinet, I actually brought this piece from upstairs. Now I've had this in my spare room for a long time. I actually thrifted this. It was $4. I want to say it's a record player cabinet. Vintage or antique. I'm not sure of the age. I don't know anything about it, but I thought it was really pretty. It's on these really old casters, and I think it fits really well here in the corner. And so I kept my mirror on top of that. And then I just added a planter that is black, along with those rust colored eucalyptus stems from the fall line at Hearth at Hand, and a skeleton hand as well. And then another old photo. This one's a family photo. It's a little bit of a reflection here. Let's see if I can block that. But I thought this was a perfect way to bring in, again, some weight and some authenticity to this Halloween vibe that I'm bringing in. I don't know anything about these people. I would love to know the history of them and this photo, but obviously that's not something that is, well, I don't know, maybe it's something I could find out. But I do love using old photos when I can find them. And that frame is actually thrifted. I thought it was beautiful. I did not find these two together, but I definitely think they work really well together. And then just a book stack along with a black mini lamp that was from Target last year. And it's got that pottery look to it. It's probably ceramic, but kind of has a pottery look to it. So I thought that was very fitting here for this corner. Now beside that, I've got just stacked baskets and a throw. And then up on the opposite side, well, actually, let me give you a kind of an overview. It's getting dark. We're a few days post Hurricane Milton, and so it's been pretty nice weather with the exception of some clouds rolling through here and there. So if it gets dark, I apologize, but this is the overview here. You guys know I got that rug on Amazon and I love it. It's washable and it's soft and it was a great price. So I will include that in the links below if that's something you're interested in. And then, of course, my pumpkins. You guys know I've loved these wire pumpkin candle holders so much. I don't want to get rid of them, so I'm going to keep them around as long as possible. I've moved them, even since the fall decorating, I've moved them a few times. But I think they really complement this space. And again, that's one of the things I was trying to do was kind of keep everything simple in the main areas so that your eye would be drawn to a little bit more of the areas that have more detail, right? There's a lot to look at over here, so I did not want to compete with that over on the coffee table. And then I found a blanket that I had thrifted a while ago that I haven't been using, so I tossed that there just for some color and some interest. And then here beside the sofa, I've got another photo, but this one is not authentic. It's something I downloaded from Etsy. The frame was thrifted and it's got like this really beautiful filigree flower pattern that I thought was really pretty. And I thought it was, you know, a nice old world looking frame that would give the picture a little bit more authenticity. And then a candle that I picked up years ago at Home Goods that I've just never burned through. So I thought that was kind of a fun way to sort of bring in some dark touches on the top of this light colored wood cabinet. And that kind of is gonna do it, guys. I don't have any other places to share with you for Halloween. And that's mainly because Hurricane Milton really threw my schedule off. We're okay. Thank you guys for all of your thoughts and prayers and well wishes. We are okay. But the weekend, the days following the hurricane, I ended up having to do a lot of cleanup outside. And I had planned to schedule my front porch Halloween decorating, which I am fearful that that will not happen. So that's okay. I'll work next year on making my front porch extra special for the Halloween season. But that is it. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for all of your support. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.